What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's June 9th, and what I want to talk about in this one is extraterrestrial disclosure and really deduce some interesting things I've seen in the mainstream media the past couple weeks regarding that. But before we get into all of this, what I want to do is hone our perspective lens, because if you don't do that before you begin to look at mainstream media stuff, and what I mean by that is if you don't get a good understanding as to what's really going on before you do, you could get really freaking confused. And I know a lot of you guys that watch this channel already do have a really good idea as to what's really going on, but just want to clarify, and that clarification is that aliens are real. They've been here for a really long time, both good ones and bad ones, and they've all had a hand in the evolution of humanity. And there has been a massive cover-up for a long freaking time regarding extraterrestrials and the UFO issue, and the reason it's been covered up is because it would completely change the foundations of freaking society. If you disclose the whole half of science that they don't teach us in state universities, all of the zero-point energy physics and electrogravitics and reciprocal systems theory, we're going to literally have to rewrite all of our textbooks. And disclosing the true truth behind the extraterrestrial issue would also completely break apart the mainstream religious foundations that are also used to really control a lot of humanity with. So again, that duality of mainstream science versus mainstream religion has been one of those very effective divide and conquer techniques that the powers that be have used, and true UFO disclosure would completely erase that divide and conquer card that they play against us with. Now, I also want to specify one last thing, and that is that I am of the belief that we cannot be negative Nancy pants when looking at this issue. I do believe that there are good people or positive forces in this universe that are trying to get these cover-ups exposed and trying to get this information disclosed. I mean, if you want to get into the spiritual implications of it all, you could call it the Age of Aquarius that we're in, or the Golden Age, or you could call it the Apocalypse, right? Apocalypse in Greek and Latin just simply means revealing or revelation. So the revealing of all this information is coming out, and I do believe there are good people in government and political and corporate power that want to see these lies that are given to humanity cease, and they want to get the truth out there. So when looking at the mainstream media, that's how I look at it. I look at it, well, this article or information in the mainstream media could be trying to be used to misinform me and control my mind, or it could be people just trying to help get the population to wake up. And I've been seeing both of those recently. Now, first of all, I want to point you towards this article that came out about a week and a half ago in a mainstream media company. It's called the United Press International. They feed a lot of stories to like the Associated Press and a lot of different mainstream media outlets. But they ran a story on May 26th where they said Russia thinks microorganisms may be living outside the space station. And this is a very interesting story, because what actually occurred is that Russia's official space agency, the Roscosmos, came out with an official news release and said they have found biogenic substances of extraterrestrial origin in its natural form on the International Space Station. Or they said it may contain, of course, may contain. And it said, in their news release, it also said, the International Space Station surface is possibly a unique and easily available collector and keeper of comet substance and possibly a biomaterial from ET origin. So what we have is Russian state officials literally trying to get the truth out there that there could very well be stuff of extraterrestrial origin that exists. But this is one note that I want to make really, really quick. There has been a term that has been coined that's called soft disclosure. And the reason it's called soft disclosure is that if you were to give all of those very deep truths that I outlined earlier in this video to humanity all at once, it would be very freaking traumatic. Their psyches would just be crushed. You know, people's understanding that, oh my gosh, I've devoted my life to believing all of this science or believing all of this religion that's a lie, would shock them. So a soft disclosure is essentially seeds that are being planted, and that's, you know, essentially how we're going to have to navigate all of this truth coming out, is that we have to ease these truths onto people, not only for them to not go into a shade of freaking fear, but for also that to get them to just simply take it seriously. I mean, our psyches have been so crushed by mind control that if a large disclosure were to happen right now, half the population probably wouldn't even take it seriously, and they'd continue ridiculing the subject. So the truth has to come out in small spurts to prepare people's minds and to get them to take the issue seriously, and that's what we're seeing here. And I mean, in all honesty, we might very well see Russia instead of America be the major player that really starts to press this UFO disclosure issue, and that's what I think we're seeing here. So Russia is coming out and dropping some bombs, dropping some soft disclosure bombs to really plant the seeds in people's heads. And again, right, I mean, the behind the scenes war that's going on is not country versus country. It's the powers that be, those human handlers, you could call them, versus humanity. So this being a multinational company, also probably does a lot of work in America, reposting some stuff out of a Russia state agency. It's not a nation versus nation thing. So what we also, and then what I saw yesterday on the Express, so they actually kind of reposted this news release from Russia on the Express yesterday, which again, this is a UK, so it's a UK news outlet, and they reposted this article and they said, scientists find proof aliens exist as samples from the ISS reveal something extraordinary. So they just basically just said the same thing and got it out to more people. I mean, 1,000 people have shared it, a few hundred comments on this thing, so they're getting it out to a wider audience. So we're definitely seeing some seeds try to be planted by the mainstream media. Now, what we're also seeing, again, I mentioned civil war, and this civil war is occurring with information, right? Because of the internet, we're in the information age, and knowledge and information is really what expands someone's, I mean, it would expand someone's consciousness. So you have some people trying to get the truth out there and other people that are trying to stifle that truth. And that's also what we're seeing in some regards. So on these mainstream media science outlets, they've had some articles the past couple days where they've been really trying to stifle the idea of extraterrestrial disclosure, or at least delay it, you could say. So this one, which is on Science Alert, said the mystery of the 40-year-old WOW signal has been solved. And they said, sorry, alien fans. Now, the WOW signal is essentially a supposed radio signal that was picked up about 40 years ago by the SETI Institute, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute. And it's always been, you know, confusing for so many decades, but now apparently yesterday they just chose to basically debunk it, per se. So that's a really interesting one. I mean, on one hand, we have people trying to say, you know, there's frickin' bacteria-like life on the International Space Station. We should take this seriously. And then on the other hand, we say, sorry, alien fans, right? So it's like the information war going on. And then on futurism, which is another one of those mainstream media science rags, they had an article yesterday that stated, expert, we'll find alien life in the next 10 to 15 years, but it won't be intelligent. And this guy was, I don't even know who the expert was. It was a astronomy researcher. Don't know where the guy works for, but he essentially had an interview with Futurism, and they really wanted to get this narrative out there that we're going to find alien life soon, within a decade, but it's not going to be smart. So, and they also tried to note that the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute that I mentioned in regards to this basically said there's no evidence that advanced alien life is here. They're a front organization. You know, a lot of these front organizations exist, like SETI and NASA, to hide the secrets, to participate in the cover-up. So essentially what we're seeing is that these mainstream media outlets like Science Alert and Futurism are really trying to like cover ass. They don't want these things to be disclosed, and they want to spin these narratives as like, oh yeah, you know, we'll find aliens soon, but they won't be intelligent, or maybe they'll find something and the aliens would be long gone or something to that effect. So they really, I mean, the powers that be, information is coming out, people's consciousness are increasing, so they're trying to stifle that here. And another point as to understanding that there are good people trying to get the truth out, this was really interesting, right? And a lot of people know this one already, but that was the billionaire aerospace investor Bigelow. He was on 60 Minutes within the last couple weeks saying that aliens are here and they're right under our noses. And so he's out there, right? He's on a mainstream media news outlet saying these things. But again, the front organization, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, responded in the media to there being no evidence that extraterrestrials are here, which is complete BS, because there's all kinds of evidence from many different witnesses as to sightings and just a whole host of stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to outline to you guys. When you look at the mainstream media in regards to this disclosure war that's going on, you have to understand that on one hand, there might be people trying to mind control you and give you just some BS narratives, but there also might be people simply trying to plant seeds of truth in the collective realm to get people to start taking this seriously. So I think as we move on in this, we're going to definitely start seeing some bigger soft disclosures or some harder disclosures begin to take place. But we're definitely going to start seeing a lot of ass covering begin to take place as well. And that bifurcation is going to occur, and it's going to get more and more obvious as to who is on, you could say who is on whose side, but who is working for what agenda. Whether they're working for some type of like partial disclosure or like truth obfuscation agenda, or if they're working for humanity's betterment, even though this isn't the full truth, but it's getting us there. I definitely am, like I've said in other videos, a Band-Aid ripped off type of person where I think we should just have the full truth now. But again, with the understanding of, well, it's going to be a freaking shock for some people and they're going to want to cry their eyes out for weeks. So it might not be the best idea to do that. We're getting there, and we're getting there faster and faster. So keep a keen eye on the mainstream media and a lot of these disclosures that come out through them, because it's going to be a fun ride, you guys, and this revealing is occurring. I'm happy to be living right now, and I'm going to keep you guys updated with everything that I see as to what's occurring with this war of information that's going on, because one thing I always say, this fight for freedom is a mental one, so we really want to prep our minds and increase our own consciousness ourselves to win the war. So anyway, take care, guys. Peace out.